Good afternoon. Today's sharing has a lot to do with yesterday's. I kind of introduced my Haiyang Zendo and the beginnings. I had my soft opening yesterday. I went out and sat for the first time in my chair in my Serenity Hall. And it's a new day, it's a new beginning. But I usually listen to these sharings shortly after I've made them. And I remember spreading misinformation that maybe no one even noticed, but I said it twice. I said I began my YouTube channel in 1918. Well, and I repeated it 1918. I believe it was January 18th, 2018. Only 100 years off. And another thing that I caught myself, I've mentioned that my end game with my YouTube, these longer formats, 33 minutes and 33 seconds, give or take. I'm usually one or two over. But maybe that's what's meant to be, should be. But I mentioned that 33 minutes and 33 seconds sharings. And then that would be the end of a particular venture. And I'm up to 256 today. So I won't even try to do the math. But winding down. So what I wanted to add from yesterday is do-overs. Every day offers a new opportunity for a new, an updated, a better version of ourselves. A redo. A chance to begin afresh every morning. That's what the morning represents to me when I wake up. Say, another morning. Another morning to embrace, to love, to listen, and as always, surrender to the forces that guide me. I would say in the course of a day, other than the minutiae of daily living, the required activities, I never initiate an action that hasn't been supported, directed, evaluated through my meditative process, either my meditative process or my dreaming process. Different fish, completely. What comes to me in my dreams is not necessarily interchangeable with what comes from meditation. But a lot of time, well, they're not incompatible, first and foremost. They're compatible. But I think my meditation is more present in that it's a call to action. One simply, or I can't, just remain in a passive state, even though maybe 90% of the time I'm in such a condition, passive, reflective. When the time is right for action, it's up to us to act. We're receptive. Basically, we're receptive beings. And most of us spend way too much time as reactive beings. Just as a pinball caroons off the... Tung, 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 tung. Most of us live our lives this way. We boom, boom, react. But it's different than active. You know what crosses my mind though, too, that in the non-duality sense, active and reactive are merely mirrors of the same thing, a mirror image, reversed image. The image is the same. The perspective, perhaps, is what is subject to change. So we're talking about motivation. What motivates me? And primary amongst my many motivations is exploration. I'm hungry to explore the next chapter. What's next? And again, what's next unfolds, is presented, is proposed to me. And because we're beings of free will, we can do what we want, what we may, with any proposal that comes our way. The source, as I mentioned, is critical for me, either meditative or dreaming state. I do discriminate a little bit because I'm more conscious, and again, meditation is more commonly has calls to action. I need to do this to make this happen. I need to begin this so that the process can unfold as it wills. In dreaming state, no matter if it's daydream, lucid dream, or night dream, sleeping dream, it tends more to show me possibilities. If you do this and you do that and you do this and you are open to that and you surrender and you listen, these are the things that could possibly occur. And it's kind of nice. It's like a preview. It's a preview channel. A preview of life, of the possibilities of the range of life that are predicated on, first and foremost, recognizing actions, recognizing the call to action when it's relevant when the timing is correct. So we're talking about a range of disciplines. Discipline in the sense, the simple sense of adherence. The ability to stick with, to carry through, completely divorced, remaining divorced of any consequence, of any it's expectation of what something's going to be. Sorry, I had an annoying little screen flashing, jumping icon. But I was in the midst of saying that so much of what I do is by studying, observing life around me. And a cat. I got a little one, little female. Her name is Little. She's a cutie. She's a hunter. And they're predators, but she's really excellent. Leave it to the females. The females are the hunters of almost all species. Because basically I think they're superior in every way. But I'll watch her sit without moving, waiting. Her favorite prey is cockroaches. Maybe it's the most available in our modern life. And she'll sit and not move a muscle. And sit for a long time, just as I sit, very reminiscent of meditation, of me sitting in my chair. But boom! And she's never misses. She's pretty much motion, perfected motion, directed motion, calculated action, responsive action. And these qualities have been serving me well. She gets immediate reward if she catches the cockroach. Only the play or torture. The game lasts for a long time. And ultimately to be discarded for me to sweep up. Thank you, Little. But this kind of mindful action in a being, in me, that spends, like Little, when she's hunting at least, most of my time in a seemingly passive state. One of the reasons that I changed from the long time Zen with a smile is because maybe I don't smile enough, but to reflect my new Facebook page, to reflect my new Serenity Hall, Haiyang Dojo, to reflect the presence and left the Zen with a smile. the title behind all the videos remain. But this, just as a tree turns over a new leaf, just as an old leaf falls to the ground to become again a part of the cycle, so too does a new, fresh, young leaf sprout to take its place. Ideas are much like this. A lot of us are burdened with old ideas, and we've pretty much closed off because human condition is essentially afraid of change. Probably at the top of all our fears is the fear of change. And the ultimate change, of course, is to go from a living entity to a dead entity. Probably our greatest human fear is tied around this fact, this unavoidable reality that we all must either face with equanimity, cower in fear, or relish ignorance in that just don't think about it. So I'm sharing today several things, but primarily this opportunity that each day provides to do a better job. To learn from your mistakes. And this whole message was again prompted by a mistake. 1918, I began my YouTube channel. Boy, I was ahead of my time. First time ever. Big difference between 1918 and 2018, isn't there? A lot of days, a lot of minutes, a lot of seconds, a lot of lives, a lot of deaths, a lot of renewals, regeneration. So we should embrace each morning. I tend to be on the quiet side, so I celebrate my morning, my first action of the morning, with a smile, followed by probably a little bit of stretching, and then slowly getting out of bed so that I won't be dizzy if I get up too fast. But I'm unlike the rooster who boisterously greets the day. I kind of nod and wink, and that makes me smile, because here's an opportunity. Isn't life grand that we get these opportunities? I mentioned many times about how important forgiveness is. And I believe, like most other things, until you can learn to forgive yourself, many of us pretend that we forgive the other. But without first forgiving yourself, the true nature of forgiveness will forever elude you. I feel the same is true for love. It must begin with love for oneself, so that its qualities can be understood, and then it can be shared. Forgiveness, love. So each morning, among the myriad of opportunities that a new morning offers, is a chance for you to forgive yourself of any perceived trespasses. And I kind of immediate, so I'm looking at trespasses of yesterday. And my trespass, among the scheme of things, is not overwhelming, probably of little import, except that just as I mentioned, forgiveness and love, truth, unless you're truthful with yourself, how do you expect to be truthful with anyone else? How will you understand truth until you embrace it, until you live it, until you breathe it in and breathe it out? Forgiveness, breathe it in, breathe it out. Love, breathe it in, breathe it out. Truth, breathe it in and breathe it out. From within to without. So this is what people talk about, selfish enlightenment. Selfish awareness, in that part of this process is consumed with your selfhood, this inner directedness. Your work is internal. And with the internal work leads you to the eternal, the external. A long time ago, someone was sharing with me that how we could contribute. The world seems overwhelmingly hopeless. This COVID-19 can be hopeless until one sees the opportunity. And it's an opportunity just as we have every morning that we wake up. It's an opportunity for renewal, rethinking, redoing, creating the new normal. But in the face of overwhelming sorrow, and sorrow as most know it is misunderstood, misdirected. Sorrow, the cause of legitimate sorrow, the suffering that Buddha talked of, is that we've lost our state of grace. We've forgotten our state of grace. We've forgotten our unity. And that sorrow can be a motivating factor in what begins as a search, which ends up as an acceptance, an understanding, embracing the commonality. But a friend talked about what best could we do to make the world a better place. And I remember her simple answer when I said, well, it's a big question. She said, no, it's not a big question, it's a little question. It's completely 100% doable by each and every one of us. And by now she had piqued my interest, and she said, simply, we clean our own back porch. We clean up the area, the parts that are accessible. We do what's doable. And better yet, immediately doable. Maybe your back porch is a place that you've just put all the things that you are too good to dispose of, but not good enough to find a place in your daily life. And you're just it's a storage. So it needs to be sorted. It needs to be swept. It needs to be cleaned. It needs to become part of your daily ritual. What are you storing within your body? And we're using the metaphor of your back porch. What are you storing? What are you putting out on the back porch that either you don't know what to do with it, you don't want to deal with it, and this can become part of your ritual. And the rituals that I'm talking about, a daily ritual, begins with the greeting of the day, the recognition for renewal, the do-over, the ability to forgive, renewal of your vow to love all sentient beings, renewal of your reduction, aim towards elimination of fear or fearfulness. Who wants to be full of fear? So this simple metaphor my friend gifted with became part of my daily ritual. I would clean my back porch, which means the clutter, miscellaneous thoughts, the monkey mind, and another daily ritual is the burning of the accumulated karma, yesterday's karma, the violet consuming flame, the flame that burns so pure that whatever you put in it, there's no residual, there's no ashes. It's gone. The violet consuming flame, which is so powerful, yet you could put your hand in the violet consuming flame and bring it out and feel no heat, feel no damage. It's a different kind of fire. Hence the color, the spiritual, the violet of the third eye. For some, it's the color of the crown chakra. I experience more of a white golden light from my crown chakra. That's what I experience. Today I'm wearing green because it suited me. I wanted to enhance the green as the heart chakra. So today I'm coming 100% from the heart. And I'm wearing green in celebratory fashion. In the spirit of celebrating the heart. Everything for me that's of any consequence, any permanent, any lasting consequence, if it doesn't spring from the heart, it's immediately questionable. It's a red flag. Didn't come from the green heart, it's a red flag. Caution, caution. Or charged like the bull. Either of those actions. whichever is appropriate to your response to red. Personally, I like red. I'm like the Chinese. Red is the color of the gifting, their hambao, their envelope that they give to others, to their parents and their children, with money inside. The red envelope is when a Chinese child sees a red, they get so excited. They see a red envelope because it's our Christmas wrapping. It's our Christmas present. It's their gift of the new year. So I see red in this. Red as a color of abundance. And I guess it's appropriate that the root chakra is red, which I have. I'm in touch with my root chakra. I have an abundance of energy. I recognize what comes from the root. And it's only in moving up to the sacral, where I need a lot of work, that energy, that sexual flame, that energy. And then on to yellow. I'll stop here. Let's go down. Golden or white, violet or violet, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. So it's the orange. I should have maybe worn. Maybe next time I'll wear orange or yellow. But again, that's part of my daily ritual. Working on the chakras, working on the energy that comes down into the root and comes back up. Make sure that that channel of energies, the chakras, the wheels, the spinning wheels, make sure they're congruent. They're working in sequential perfection. So I would probably leave this work with the chakras for the end of today's sharing. So what I've tried to talk about is what we can do today, what we can do right now, what we should never hesitate